what's up? I'm Hypesy. I make games, play games everywhere. Currently, I'm in Lisbon, Portugal, one of the oldest cities in the world. Amazing views from the hills that go up and down. They remind me of San Francisco. Wherever I live, I do the same old. I find a local grocery store, figure out what the price of eggs is, and try to work as much as possible. On my favorite days, I'll go to a coffee shop where I can sit down for a long period of time and focus on making a game. This game is called Dodge This. I'm open to name suggestions, maybe Robo Dodge. If you got any, leave them in the comments below. This game took about 45 minutes to make while sitting outside a coffee shop. Before I sat down, I did have a vague idea of what I wanted in a game. I find the best inspiration often comes from games you've enjoyed in the past and then trying to recreate them in some way, shape, or form. You don't always have to know what you want in a game. If you do know what you want, you can get straight to work. Other times, I spend hours playing around with mechanics, visual colors of what could kinda sorta be a game, mainly messing around with concepts and ideas. Having a goal before you sit down is a great way to keep focused. I'm always a fan of hyper-casual games, simple game mechanics that are often repeated over and over again, slowly becoming a little bit more complex. The game mechanic. This is the foundation of the game. This is what you'll be doing over and over in the game to survive and get the high score. The fun swiping and moving the character around engages the player while keeping the mechanic simple. Not only is this how you play the game, but this is how you master the game. There's a game that came out years ago on the App Store called Smooth. The concept, all you had to do was move a circle shape up, down, left, right, away from incoming enemies. And honestly, I love the simplicity design around this game. It kind of reminds me of a modern remake of the game Go, an OG Asian strategy game that makes chess look like checkers. And while I love and enjoy the beautiful simplicity of this look, I'm also a big fan of robots and rockets. Notice how these two games are similar, but at the same time, they're different. The ability to mix old and new ideas together is a fun process. The most difficult part of this game mechanic was setting up how the robot jumps. I wanted to create a jumping effect that happens each time you swipe up, down, left, right, and to have the robo dude only move one space. The second part of the game mechanic in this game was the shooting missiles. Here I have two objects, one invisible in the center rotating randomly, and another object glued to that center object shooting rockets toward the center of the screen. And then the final step in making this game was adding a leaderboard to keep track of the player's time, along with adding cool sci-fi elements to give the game a more polished look. I'm a beginner, so I took a look at this simple template called Skippy Template. This is an amazing template where you skip around the world by swiping up, down, left, right, skipping on logs, collecting gems, and trying to avoid the spike. This game is nothing like the game I'm going to make. What is important here is the game mechanic, how the character moves, the swiping, and the jumping. The effects look great, and I want it in my game. This will be the core mechanic along with the rockets. Instead of starting from scratch, I can just hit the remix button, reorganize the entire game, and create it more in the direction of an apocalyptic robot survival game in lava while keeping the swiping mechanic in the game. Next, I have an invisible block in the middle that randomly rotates and spins in different directions every 0.5 seconds. Another object that spawns a rocket and shoots towards the middle while the robot has to dodge the incoming rockets. When making games, you can do whatever you want, which is great, but it can also be overwhelming. Knowing what you'd like to do helps you keep focused on finishing the game. The whole thing is a learning process. What's important is to start the game, finish the game, repeat, and know that you will slowly get better each completed game. I was able to do all of this on my iPad using no code on an app called hypehype. Every game on this app can easily be recreated by a push of a button and the remix button. This button allows any game to be used as a template when making your own game. This app, hypehype, has thousands of games created by players like you and me. You can make and play games on your phone, tablet, and even desktop browser. While clones are commonplace on the App Store and Play Store, hypehype takes what traditionally has been a negative perspective, flips it upside down, inside out, and all around to enable anyone to make mobile games using their fingers. That being said, the app is in beta. If you would like to join, you need to have a smartphone and an email. Go to hypehype.com/get access, fill out the form, and they'll reach out to you with a download link in a few days. Last month, hypehype introduced the ability to make multiplayer games. Again, the app is currently being developed. hypehype allows anyone to make games using their fingers. In hypehype, any game can be a template. You can remix and remake any game in the app. A lot of these games are just simple animations, puzzles, 2D and 3D platforms, and some of the games are epic journeys that you'll definitely be playing over and over again. All of these games can be recreated. Some of them are super complex, so if you're new, be sure to start small. If you've ever wanted to make games anywhere with your phone or tablet, check out hypehype, and remember, you must have an email address to sign up while it's in early access. When you open the app, go to the Creators tab on the bottom menu bar. You can see that there's multiple interactive editor tutorials, welcome creator, make a mini hype, editor overview 1, basic editor overview settings, and more. They even have a YouTube page with a variety of playlists and tutorials. Next, there's Discord, where you can go and chat, share ideas with other people who are also playing and making games. If you're a fan like me when it comes to reading documentation, go to wiki.hypehype.com and you can get a deep dive into information on how each node works. One of the coolest and most recent features is multiplayer, which was released maybe like a month or so ago, and I've made a multiplayer game. You can make regular games, you can make animations, you can make whatever you want, wherever you want. Check out other videos. Here's some showing the first game I ever made with hypehype, and more recently, the first multiplayer game I made. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Hypesy. Stay safe out there, and peace.